Hello everyone, welcome back to Outer Wilds. Yesterday we went to Sun Station and we're gonna go check out the vessel. But I did some more Google, well no, I continued looking at the guide that had suggested about, that got me unstuck on how to get to Sun Station to make sure that I hadn't missed something there. And it also discussed like how to get to the Ash Twin project. Which again is a thing that I don't really feel bad for missing. I found all the pieces of like why you can't get in there, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you could argue I missed one. But I just didn't like the thing you're supposed to do to get in is like another one of those things that it doesn't feel the same as like the other stuff you've had to do in this game. So I'm not too surprised. The figures this time when I actually wanted to go to Ash, it targeted Ember. So many times I tried to go to Ember and it's been like, oh, you want to go to Ash? And I'm like, ugh. This time it's the other way around. So, anyway, recall that there's kind of twin warp towers on Ash Twin leading to Ash and Ember. And you can only go to either one of them when Ember is directly above. I figured all that out myself. And if you take the warp tower that goes to Ash, that goes to Ember, you just like land somewhere on Ember, as you would expect. If you take the one that goes to Ash, you'd like to take the one that goes to Ash, but you can't because the ceiling is broken, the roof is broken, right? It only takes, a warp tower only works when the corresponding celestial body, which in this case is the center of Ash plus Ember, is directly overhead. And the problem is that since there's no roof in the room where the tower, the warp pad leading to the center of Ash is, there's no roof there, and you can only use it when Ember's directly overhead, well, those are the times when sand is going off the planet. And if you stand on that warp... I tried standing on that warp tower as Ember was passing by, and the sand hit me before the warp went off. So I was like, okay, you can't actually use it, like, in any direct way that I could see. And this guide that I found is like, well... And even this is something that I think I knew. Is like, you can stand not in that room, but under the bridge that's between the two towers. And like, fine. But then if you go into the room, don't you get like sucked up by the sand? Apparently the answer to that is no. If you wait until the sand is already there and then run into the room, well, the warp tower will be active and so will the sand. And if you like hop in there, the warp tower will go off before the sand has a chance to pick you up, I guess. This just doesn't seem like the kind of exploration that most of the other stuff in the game has needed you to do. That's all. These last 3 or 4 things I've been stuck on, I've said the same thing about all of them. And it's all like, oh, you know... Like, I watched a video essay years ago about some, like, game design person, or maybe just game-interested person. I think he's a game designer person, who was like, why don't I just have, like, my girlfriend or his wife or whatever, I don't remember, who doesn't play a lot of video games, but, like, is familiar with controls, maybe? I don't even remember. The point is, it was like, have her play some games and see how well the games communicate stuff to someone who's totally new to the universe versus how much stuff you need context for. Right? Stuff like, oh, of course you go right. And I remember one example. She was playing some zombie game, Last of Us, I don't know. And there's a scene, which I haven't played the game, so I'm like making it up, right? There's a scene where you're like running through a town that's burning and there are zombies or something. And you need to run in some direction. And if you kind of go too far away from the path where you're trying to go, then like a zombie jumps on you and kills you in some little cutscene. All right, we might be able to go somewhere now. And to those of us who have played a lot of video games, that interaction is very obvious. It's like you walked out of bounds, a cutscene played, and you died. Right? That's the game telling you there's a wall here. You can't go that way. It's not saying, as this person's partner thought, that if you were just better at platforming or combat or something, you could go this way after fighting the zombie. Right? That's not how you react to that kind of occurrence if you're used to video games. And like that's what the three anglerfish right outside the red door in Dark Bramble feel like to me. They feel like, okay, you haven't been very, dodging one anglerfish has been hard. Here there are three. You just walked through a door and you're going to get killed. And so I didn't really try there. I didn't even think, like, what could I do to get by these anglerfish? Could I use the fact that they're blind? Because I was like, oh, there's a wall here. I can't go this way. The scout thing is over there, but I'm just, since there's a wall here, the fact that the scout is there must be telling me, like, okay, I can kind of take pictures of the vessel, but I can't go into where it is. So, I don't know. That's what that door feels like to me. It feels like the game is saying you are not currently allowed in. Now, I don't remember which of these... Oh, of course I know which is which. The one with the broken roof is the one we want to go to, and that is not this one. Okay. So we're going in here. Eventually. And, I can't really say the same thing for... I am under the bridge. For, like, this... It feels close, right? It's like you're standing in there, and there's a hole in the ceiling, and you want to go through the thing, but you can't go through the thing. And so it's like, oh, I must not be allowed through the thing. But actually you are allowed through if you, like, let yourself get picked up off the ground like that. Which just doesn't feel like the rest of the game to me. Where, like, you just explore and you look at things, and sometimes there's a platforming challenge, but it's clearly labeled. Or a puzzle, but it's like, the puzzles have all been kind of understandable to me, and this one hasn't. Okay. Receive data from previous cycles. Masked receiving data from the probe tracking module, Giant's Deep memory statue, that's Gabbro, and Timber Hearth memory statue, that's me. So the other Nomai are all dead. Or the other ones who are plugged in, anyway. Ah, right, and the probe tracking module. So that's the three statues that are active. Got it. I can't really interact with these. A lot of text, my goodness. Today we finished the excavation of Ash Twin. Here in this space we carved, we will craft our most ambitious project yet, the Ash Twin Project, powerful enough to send information back in time. We've also finished relocating all subterranean plants we met while digging. We'll need to keep our eyes on how significantly we've altered the environment here. How far we've come since our experiments at the High Energy Lab. I can hardly believe Raimi's hypothesis was true. Pope just sent the warp core for the final tower to us from the Black Hole Forge. Now Ash Twin can be connected with Giant's Deep, where Cassava is working with Avens to craft the orbital probe cannon, and where Phlox is sculpting the memory statues. We know about that stuff. Hypothesis. It was not by accident the core of our warp tower was the last to be forged. The one for Giant's Deep. The cores could have been forged faster if Cassava had interrupted my work less frequently to ask for updates. The important point is that we are all connected through Ash Twin now, and also that I'm no longer needed for mediating your disagreements. Our friends on Giant's Deep tested the orbital probe cannon today. Mallow tells me the cannon is doing well, and that Avens advocates for more launch power. If anyone can coax the maximum power from a device, Avens can. But then if anyone can goad a device into exploding, that too is likely Avens. Perhaps I should check in with the orbital probe cannon crew in the interest of safety. Would it help to remind Avens that Mallow, his love, will be one of the Nomai aboard the cannon, or is Mallow part of the problem? Phlox and Daz finished the memory statues today, and they are truly remarkable. When the Ash Twin project succeeds, or in the event that it fails, the memory statues will activate, allowing us to gather more data before we shut down the project. Pi and Idea have worked hard on the Sun Station, and it at last is complete. If everything goes as planned, the structure will prompt the Sun's explosion, which will in turn supply the power the Ash Twin project requires. So when the Sun explodes, they'll have enough power to send memories back in time. And then they'll kind of know what would have happened if the Sun exploded without, in fact, exploding the Sun, sort of. I guess that's the plan. I'm impressed by their mental fortitude. This was the project's most difficult task in more ways than one. And so the problem is, of course, they didn't succeed in blowing up the Sun, but they did leave the memory statues active. So when the Sun just naturally decided to go supernova, anyone connected to a memory statue got stuck in a time loop with no real way to do anything about it. Except that we're exploring, and eventually we'll figure it out, right? We're nearly ready to activate the Ash Twin project. Here is what will happen. First, the Sun Station will receive the order to fire at the Sun, prompting it to explode. Using the energy from the resulting supernova, the Ash Twin project will send the order for the orbital probe cannon to fire back in time by 22 minutes? Are they sending the order back in time by 22 minutes? Or are they ordering the probe cannon to fire in a direction which is back in time by 22 minutes? That doesn't make any sense. Only the Ash Twin project can send stuff back in time. So when the Sun blows up, the Ash Twin project will activate and send an order back in time by 22 minutes. That order being to the probe cannon saying, please fire. Okay. So that is why the probe cannon always fires right at the beginning of the day. It's that its memory is being changed as well on the same time loop as we are. And at the start of the loop, it's told to fire. So it does. Okay. 22 minutes later, the Sun Station will again trigger the supernova to send the probe data from this cannon launch back in time. In total, each cycle created by the Ash Twin project will last 22 minutes. We can end this cycle at will. So the probe cannon is gathering information by firing in lots of different directions every day, maybe? And sort of simulating the what if it fired in all directions at once by just doing it at the start of a time loop until it finds what it's looking for? Maybe. These words are difficult to write. The Sun Station did not work. Suppose we redesign the Sun Station. To generate power of that magnitude, a supernova is still our only option. I believe we can still find a way to create a supernova. Don't lose hope. This is easier expressed than accomplished. What, don't lose hope? Not with a supernova. You can wait for the Sun to explode on its natural timeline if you prefer, but you'll need to find some way to halt our aging process. This is the closest we've ever been. The Ash Twin project is theoretically sound. We were only unable to power it. Perhaps there is another way. We are halting our research into creating a supernova for this moment. A comet has newly arrived in the solar system and we're anxious to explore it. It's been a very long time since we last explored somewhere new, so we're excited to welcome this comet. Imagine what knowledge might be gained there. And then they all died. So they couldn't keep working on this, I guess. Okay. Artificial gravity control. Well, I could turn that off to go over there, I guess, without having to walk back. Removing... You are about to access the core while the Ash Twin project is active. Removing the core will disable the Ash Twin project. So that would, like, kill me, right? The memory statues would not work anymore. That seems maybe bad. That might be like a game over screen. I need something to do with this core, right? Oh, and turn off the gravity as well, please? So it's stopped. Do I get in through here? No. And presumably not here either. Yeah. So I feel like if I died while things are in this state, the honest thing for the game to do would be to like uninstall itself. I don't know if it would do that. It seems unlikely, I have to say. We've read this, right? Yeah. So we're 10 minutes into the 22-minute cycle. Ah, right, these aren't stars. This is the ore from Timber Hearth, of course. Are the statues still working? They shouldn't be, right? Oh, hang on. Look at this. How did I miss this? Let me go turn things back on. I don't think turning them off has helped me at all. So is it active again? I kind of wonder if whatever I did here didn't work. Because like when I'm holding this thing, it says, hey, be careful. You might turn off the thing. And then when I did this... Ah, I pulled it back down accidentally after doing that, and so it wasn't open. I like did this or something. So that is how you actually get at this warp core. I'm not entirely confident that I should go get it. Like, since it might kill me? But like, why not? Or, like, right? Remove warp core. Yeah, so... I don't know. I don't feel comfortable carrying that. I mean, obviously, it just sitting there and not being active isn't doing me any good either, but this is the thing that is making me survive the sun go out every day, right? And I gather that what I'm supposed to do is take this to the vessel, which has had a damaged warp core, right? And then maybe I could, like, just fly away. But if I remove this... my memory won't be sent back in time. The time loop will stop after the sun-going supernova. Which seems kind of, like, bad? Obviously, right? I mean, we're definitely gonna have to do that at some point. And I assume that it won't actually break the game for me to do so now. Like, even if I fail at it, right? I assume the game will find some excuse to continue, even though, like, my understanding of causality says that I should be dead forever after doing that. Oh yeah, kind of funny because the planet's rotating. Okay. So, like, there's gonna come a day... Let me read this. My gratitude for the latest shipment. Oh, we've read this, right? Yeah. They're flirting, I think. Yeah. Oh, there's another projection scroll I could use? I've read this one before, right? From the other side? The advanced warp core is ready to be installed in the central chamber of Ash Twin. No, it isn't. Yeah, I've read this. So, oh yeah, this is like there's projection cores for everything because we've read stuff. It's copies of the stuff that we read when we were on those other planets reading what's here. Yeah, installed the masks. There'll come a day when we take the warp core from here. Oh, how come I fell off the ground there? We take the warp core from here and we, like, go to Bramble Hollow, Bramble Deep, Dark Bramble, and install the warp core in the vessel after navigating through all the anglerfish. But if I don't... I want to practice going through the anglerfish. I don't think I want to, like, come here, wait long enough to be allowed into this place, then pick this up, and then try to go through the anglerfish on my first try. I also want to see what the deal is with this. I guess it's only very briefly supernova proof. Right, long enough to power the Ash Twin project to send back everyone's memories. Now, this actually is not a gravity wall, by the way. This is a centrifuge pulling me down. So, in principle, I should be able to just hang out over here if I want, right? Why is this rotating? Is it because the planet is rotating? Like, obviously it is, right? I guess that must be... I mean, right now, okay, this thing is pulling me along. But... oh, I think I might be stuck here. No. Okay. Well, yes, though? No. Yeah, the planet is rotating. But it doesn't do an orbit, like, this fast, does it? What happens if I turn off gravity again? Yeah, so the planet is rotating a little bit, slowly, right? That's what's causing the stars to kind of drift here. And so it should have been the case that once I jumped off the centrifuge, I would feel the planet rotating very slowly, not continue to feel it quickly. So I feel like whatever trick they're doing here to make gravity seem normal, like... And here, by they, I'm talking about... Oh, look at that. The game developers, not the Nomai. Doesn't seem like it's quite working right. Because I should be able to hop off of this and not feel the artificial gravity or see the the planet spinning so quickly. I mean, okay, I guess a point is I currently have a lot of momentum in that same direction, right? And so if I can't actually get myself off of this thing, then that argument doesn't hold. But I did. I, like, walked off the edge, right? And now that I'm out here... Oh, you know what? It totally does work. I somehow was just going way too fast because I got picked up by this thing when I thought I hadn't. Okay. Well, I take back what I said about you, game developers. You're geniuses after all. I don't know what to do with the rest of the day. I mean, I guess just, like, go... It's a little late now, but I could, like, go to Dark Bramble. And try my hand at the anglerfish again. Ah, no music. That usually means the sun's about to go off, doesn't it? How long? Yeah, we have a minute left. Can I tell anything about where these are going? And what's with this one? Oh, the mask fell off. They're just going up into that project somehow. Yeah, look at that. Jumping even sort of makes sense here. The ground under you kind of moves over a bit when you jump because of the centrifuge. Nice. Well, I want to be in here when the supernova happens. I don't think anything interesting is going to happen. It's just going to be like, oh, the day is over. You didn't die. But your memory was reset. Okay, yeah, look, these just turned on. Oh, that thing's going nuts, huh? It made a black hole and it's warping stuff. Oh man, look at that. The supernova is raging all around us. And our memory was just reset. We didn't die this time. But our consciousness has been sent back in time, kind of. Just the same as it always has. Alright, well, I guess tomorrow we'll try the vessel. And then maybe after that, try actually taking the warp core out of the Ash Twin project to the vessel, which seems like it might be some kind of win condition. Right, we learned about the Ash Twin project. Mark location on HUD. I'm not sure how useful that would be. The energy cables are plugged into a protective casing at the center of the planet. 8 monoliths, 3 of them are actively receiving data from these things. The Ash Twin project used the energy to send probe data 22 minutes into the past. It didn't work. They couldn't power it. There's an advanced warp core. Removing it will disable the Ash Twin project. So I guess we could also just choose to go quietly. Right? We could just die. We could just be like, this time loop is not working out. But I don't think there's any reason yet to give up. We could get to the vessel still. So, what is there left to do? Basically the vessel, right? And also something on the Sunless City? Everything else we've figured out or looked up. Mostly figured out, a little looking up. Oh, the Sunless City is now fully explored. Why were you telling me for so long that there was more to explore there? Because it pointed to Sun Station? But I couldn't find anything out about that link from the Sunless City. I had to find it out on Sun Station, didn't I? I'm kind of mad about that. Huh. Okay, so it really is just the vessel left. So clearly that's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.